Hey guys, good afternoon. It's a hot day here in Texas. Summer's finally about here, and I'm really excited about it because I don't like cold weather. It was cold like a month ago. Well, less than that, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And this episode is airing the Monday before Dayton Hamvention, so I'm hoping to see a lot of you folks there in Dayton this coming weekend. There's that. And I'll probably be doing an on-the-road video. I'm driving to Dayton. This is my first year to drive to Dayton. And I'll definitely be doing videos walking around talking to people at Dayton. Been to Dayton the last several years. Very fun show. And really looking forward to it. It's my annual getaway to go to Dayton. Good afternoon. My name's Jason. I'm KC5HWB. This is Ham Radio 2.0, episode 138. And this will be the unboxing video for the TYT MD-UV380 and 390. They're the same radio. Just like the MD-380 and MD-390, the original versions, UHF or VHF, monoband radios. Both of those radios were the same radio in a different case, and the same can be said for the dual band version. So I've got a little lineup here that shows you. Let me rearrange this. This is an original MD-380 V8 or UHF rather. This is my dual band MD-390, and this is my dual band MD-2017. Okay, so just a size comparison here. This is, let me zoom this in here. Whoop. There we go. Gosh, I can't turn it the right way. This right here is an MD-UV380 dual band. Gives you all the information here. It's the same exact box that the 380 and 390 original version come in. So just look for the label on the side of the box. That's the only way you can tell them that the 380 VHF and UHF came in this box. The 390 VHF and UHF came in this box. The 2017s came in this box, both GPS and non-GPS version. These two versions I'll be showing you today for the UV380 and UV390 are both GPS, but there's not any difference between the GPS and non-GPS other than the additional menu. I'm actually doing an unboxing here because guess what? I want everyone to see the actual unbox. Oh, this thing's squawking. Okay, let me turn that off. I heard that. I thought that was my radio over there, but apparently not. Okay. So here, let me set those over there. Those are still in the camera good. So it's got a manual. It's got this little insert thing, GPS operation. Gives you a little instruction on how to GPS operate the thing. Radio body, obviously. I haven't done an unboxing in a long time. A lot of times when I do unboxings, people complain, "We don't need to see how to unbox a radio." But for everybody that complains, I probably get 2 or 3 people that says, "Hey, thanks, great video." So I don't do many unboxings anymore, but this one's been long anticipated. Everybody's been emailing me saying, "When's your video coming out?" So I wanted to actually do an unboxing this time. So belt clip. It only comes with one antenna. It's the regular standard, what I would call standard size. It's not the long whip that used to come with some of the 390s, and it's not the little stubby one that came with some of the earlier versions of 380s. There's only one antenna in this box. Here's the cool thing. The battery and the charger are the same as the MD-380 monoband. Same is true for the MD-390. In fact, the MD-390 and the 2017, if you go back and watch my 2017 video, the MD-390 and the 2017 share a charger. So if you have an MD-390 or an MD-2017 or an MD-UV390, the dual band version of the 390, you can use one charger for all those radios. Or you can like have one take one to work, have one upstairs in your office, and have one downstairs in the kitchen or something like that. And it'll charge all of your radios. As far as I know, this programming cable for the MD-UV380 is the same as the standard MD-380 programming cable. So there's nothing special in this box. Everything looks the same. In fact, if you open it up and take out the radio, it looks like a standard MD-380. So pay attention to the sticker on the side that clearly says MD-UV380, and it'll say frequency range of 136 to 174/400 to 480 megahertz. So it's obviously a dual band radio. So be careful with that. If you're going to buy one of these at a Hamfest or on Amazon or something like that, make sure you're getting the dual band version because they all look the same. This is a MD-380. I don't know if you guys could hear, my air conditioner was running. It cut off just now. This is an model MD-380, output 5 watts, 400 to 480 megahertz. It doesn't actually do 5 watts. It does closer to 3.5 to 4. This is the battery that I just took off of this radio. And, boom, I'm going to put it on the dual band version that I just took out of the box. Now you can see, if I zoom in here, I'll get some better shots of this here in a second. The screen looks very similar to the MD-2017 screen, if you're familiar with the MD-2017. It has one band on top and one band on bottom, and then it has a third line on the bottom for zone. So, it will allow you to... That camera's really compensating for the blue in my shirt. Hoosier DMR. Thanks to Tony for the donation of the shirt. Been meaning to wear this shirt in a video for a long time. So same battery from a monoband monoband 380 put on the UV380. Same battery, same charger. It's a standard SMA antenna. Blah 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 blah. So I get a lot of emails from people asking where they can get the software for this radio, because the software is different. I get emails asking where they can get the software. I get emails asking if it will take the MD-380 tools or the TYT tools. As far as I know, I'm not going to brick a radio and find out. But I believe that those tools will not work on this radio, and I'll explain why here in a second. First of all, this is GrapevineAmateurRadio.com. If you click on the Downloads tab at the top right here, this is probably something I'm going to build into a table before too long. But go down here to the TYT section, and under MD-UV380-390, you can download this. It's a zip file. This comes straight from TYT, since I'm a dealer for TYT at this point in time. You can download it from TYT888.com. There's probably several other vendors out there who have this software, but sometimes people ask me, well, where do I get the software? Well, it's right here, and it's been right here since before the radios were out, because they sent me the software a week or so early. Some people have had trouble opening that software. They say, oh, well, it doesn't install, or I get this error. 9 times out of 10, if you're getting a software error, it's with your computer. I've got this software installed. I'm going to download it right now. You see it's downloading. I'm using WinRAR. You can use 7-zip. You can use WinZip. You can use a number of other compression tools. So if I open this software right here, I get the WinRAR pop up, and I'm able to get into it like that. That is the setup for the 380 and 390. They have a V1.03 executable for both versions of the radio. I installed both of them, and the computer saw them as the same software. So it put a little 1 in parentheses after the second install. And I read and wrote a code plug to both the UV380 and UV390 with the same cable and the same software. So you don't need. So I don't know why they have them separated by name like this. I don't know. These are firmware download instructions, the same way you do firmware updates on the monoband versions. This is your document. Those are the documents, the instructions. The firmware download dot executable is the download tool, the firmware upgrade tool. Okay, and then you can go here, and at the time of this video, there's a 380 15.17.bin file, which is your firmware, and then there's a GPS version 15.17.bin file, which is firmware for GPS. So if you get the GPS version, use the GPS firmware. If you get the non-GPS version, use the non-GPS firmware. Obviously, I shouldn't have to say that, but some folks don't know, and that's okay. That's the purpose of this video, is to share information with you guys. So that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong if you. Really, the GPS versions of these radios are about $10 more than the non-GPS versions of these radios, so you should probably always get the GPS version. I don't know. You know, the funny thing about the GPS versions is that the MD-380 and the MD-390 monoband radios both had a GPS version. Now, they didn't come out early on when the radios were first new, but they come out later, especially the 390 GPS. The MD-390 came out like a year after the 380 was out, and the GPS version of the 390 came out very shortly after that. In fact, it might have come out at the same time. I don't remember. There was one that they called an MD-380G, G meaning GPS. No one cared about GPS on either of those monoband radios. No one ever asked me about it. I never got emails about it. I never got calls about it, nothing. And then all of a sudden the dual bands hit and everybody wants GPS now. So I don't know why the GPS fascination has come into play at the same time that the dual band version, because you've had a GPS option for a long, long time. And for the longest time, and a lot of C bridges don't allow GPS because they think it clogs down the network. And up until recently, Brandmeister didn't have GPS enabled, but they do now. I don't remember when that happened. That might have been like a year ago. It might have been about the same time the dual bands dropped, so that might be, there might be a correlation there. I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't research it. It was just something I noticed, kind of like off the cuff. I'm like, yeah, sure. Nobody cared about the GPS version when the monobands were out, but the dual band, the MD 2017 dual band, and the Anytone dual band, and then the Alliance, HD1 dual band, and the Retevis RT82 dual band. Everybody wants a GPS version. Go figure. So I'm going to plug this. Let me see. Okay, so we can go back over here, and I'm going to open my software. So you can see that I opened the zip file. I've already installed the software, and it is right there, MD-UV380 V1.03. Now, I am going to open the 390 software like I was telling you a second ago. It's the same software. I don't know why they named it different. And, yeah, I am going to read this radio, which is the dual band 380 radio. And there it goes. So I'm using the 390 UV390 software, reading a 380 radio. Read data successful. Now here's the coolest part. You can see in fact, it even says model name UV380. This is not or 390. This is not a 390. This is a 380. Okay, so it doesn't really care. Internally speaking, these two radios, the guts of them are the same. The only difference is the shell casing, which is the same for the monoband also. So you can see hardware version, you can see CPS version, which is 1.03, which is what I'm using, which is the latest version at the time of this recording. And you can see all this kind of stuff. So here is, this is a brand new out-of-the-box radio. Nothing in here. No digital contacts, nothing, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open, and I keep all this crap on my Google Drive folder. Google Drive Radio Code Plugs TYT. I'm going to open my 2017 file, which is dated, my MD 2017 file, which is dated 2018, April 26th. That was about 2 weeks ago. So, right there, I'm going to open that file. And you see that even though I open this file, I can go to Digital Contact and it sees all that there. It still says 390 right there. So it basically imported my 2017 into the 390 CPS. Here's all my channels. Digital RX, those are my receive groups. Digital Contact, I've got 149, and those are talk groups. Those are group calls. We've still got the write contacts option right here where we can import and export to a CSV file. So you can write, I think the 390, in fact it says on the side of the box. Well, no it doesn't. It says 3,000 channels on the side of the box. It doesn't say anything about contacts. I believe the current capacity of contacts is 100,000, which is what the MD 2017 is. It's 100,000 also. The Anytone 868 UV is 150,000 current. There's only like 90, there's low 90s, mid 90s contacts, DMR subscriber IDs in the world right now. So we're going to break that 100,000 threshold here shortly. So I've sent a message to the TYT and asked them what their plan is, and they haven't replied to me yet. I kind of think they'll probably do it via firmware updates, but I don't know. We'll see. So this is my 2017 code plug that you saw me just open, and it imported it into the 390. Now I'm going to write it to this dual band radio. So watch this. Write. Okay. And it's writing slowly because I've got so much junk in here. I'm actually in the process of rewriting my code plug using the N0GSG contact manager, creating a separate code plug for every repeater in the state of Texas. I have nothing better to do with my time. So, and then I'm going to take all those, I'm going to do an import feature in N0GSG and make a big, awesome code plug out of it. So you folks in Texas, stay tuned. And I'm going to do a video on that one. So now, it doesn't even have an antenna on it. It's hearing my repeater out here, which is right over here. That's why it's doing that. What are you driving? I believe that is Joe N3JI. So you see that the subscriber ID is coming through by itself. Yeah, you probably about wore that one out. Turn it down a bit. It says Metro, which is our Metroplex talk group in DFW, and then it shows the subscriber ID underneath it because I have not loaded contacts into this radio yet. So I can do that now. Let's change the channel because I don't want it fudging with it. So I just loaded my 2017 code plug into this UV380. So you don't have to build code plugs from scratch. Sometimes it'll say that. It says USB device not recognized. Power the radio off with it plugged in. Turn the radio back on. It should resolve it. Yeah, so that resolves it. So power the radio off, unplug and replug the cable, and then after the cable's seated in the side of the radio, power it on. That's the technical way you should do it every time. You should always technically power your radio off, plug it in, make sure the cable's good and seated, and then power it on with the USB cable already attached to the computer. I get people commenting on videos, oh, you should always do it that. You usually don't have to. Whether you should or should not always do it is irrelevant. You usually don't have to. But Windows being what Windows is, sometimes you have to, but you don't always have to. I didn't do that when I first plugged it in. You guys saw that. Okay? But that USB device not recognized, you can get around that. That's not a big deal. So now I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to Write Contacts, and I'm going to import a file. Now this is something I've built from the past. I downloaded the you can go to ham-digital.org now to get all the current subscriber IDs. It used to be on dmrmark.net. They recently changed it. There's a few bugs on that Ham Digital website. I sent an email to that guy today. He's in Germany, and Hans is his name. Well, that's the guy on the... I don't know if it's the only guy or not, but his name and email address is on the website. So I reached out to him today. He'll probably get the email sometime tonight because it's probably nighttime in Germany when I sent him the email. And maybe I can get him to come on my show. But anyway, so this is a TYT contacts.csv file that I built a while back. This is the same one I have currently running in both my RT82 and my MD-2017 radios. So I'm going to click on Open. And it's going to wait right there like that. And it should come up with a message saying import successful. Now there's over 90,000 contacts in this database right now. So in this spreadsheet, I should say, there it is. Import SUCC exclamation point. That means success. Okay? So then I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go Write. And you see it comes up, and it says firmware error. Okay? Firmware error. Let's see what version of firmware I've got in this thing. Versions. 16.05. Holy. So 15.17 was the version of firmware that was available when the radio first came out, and now this one has 16.05. You know, usually TYT will send me the firmware and the new CPS when they're ready, but they've kind of been lax on that here recently. So firmware, I bet I know why. I bet the reason that I'm getting firmware error is because I'm using CPS version 1.03, which is made to go with firmware version 15.17. Now you can see I just imported a code plug and read my radio, imported a code plug, and wrote to my radio. So the CPS works, even with the newer firmware version. But I bet that firmware error is because I need an updated version of the CPS to go with the 16.05 firmware that's in this radio right now, and then I'll be able to write my contacts. So I will do some research on that, because the last... in fact, you know what? This was my 380, right? This was brand new out of the box. This one was a sample radio that is a 390 dual, but UV380 dual band, and it has 15.021. 15.021 in this radio, and I think that it's okay. So I need to get the latest firmware from TYT, because apparently they've updated some firmware and haven't sent it to me yet, which is fine, whatever. Again, they used to send me that all the time, but here lately they've been really slacking off. And I could go to TYT888.com and download it. Sometimes you'll get antivirus crap popping up if you download stuff from that website, and they usually just send it to me directly. So all the stuff I have for download on GrapevineAmateurRadio.com is direct from TYT, not downloaded from TYT, but like the sales representative sends it to me. So right now this is showing the firmware version 15.021, which is 15.21, which is even newer than, and this was one of the first radios they sent me. So obviously there's some firmware discrepancies out there. because when they sent me 15.17, which is on the website, they told me it was the newest, and this was like 3 weeks ago when they sent that to me. Maybe 4 weeks, maybe a month ago. And they said it was the latest, and then I haven't heard from them since then. So there's this scan issue that this thing was flipping back and forth between band A and band B real quick, and it was not letting me get into the menu, but it stopped that. I think that's a firmware bug for this older version of firmware, which has obviously been replaced because this 380 has 16 something, and this is still on 15. So, learn as you go. So I had some difficulty off camera. I stopped the camera. I had some difficulty. This makes no sense, and I think it's my computer, okay? A lot of you guys will call me or email me and say, I'm having this trouble. I think I have a bad programming cable. I think I have a bad radio. Turns out to be your computer, because 9 times out of 10, that's what it is. So I think it's my computer, but I could not get this cable, which I just took out of this MD-380 box, to read my MD-390. It read the MD-380 just fine. MD-380, I'm talking about the UV version, the dual band version. It read the 380 just fine. I wrote my 2017 code plug to this radio with this cable. You guys just saw that. It's on video. I have proof. Could not get it to read the UV390. I went inside, got the cable that came with the UV390. Works fine. Same freaking cable. TYT with the black background and the... Gosh, holy cow. Anyway, okay, I think it's my freaking computer. I don't think it's the cable. I don't think it's the radio. I've already written a code plug to this UV390, so I know darn well that it works. And it works with my code plug. So back to the contacts thingy, which is what I was trying to do a minute ago. So if we go here, this is just like if you've ever written contacts to a to an MD-2017 or to an RT-82, this is how you do it. Same way. Okay, some of you maybe not have done this before, or maybe you just want proof that I can actually do it this way. So I'm going to go to import. And again, this TYT contacts is a list that's 5. Oh, that's okay. Well, it updated it for today, but whatever. This is a list. You can see it's about 4.8 megabytes. This is a list that I built. I didn't really build. I didn't build it. I downloaded it from DMR Mark at the time, and put it all together the way that TYT likes it. And then this is the one I bet. So I import this, and we wait, and you can see the mouse cursor flashing or spinning there. And there's over 90,000 contacts on this page. Okay, there it is. Import successful. Took it a extra long time to import this time for some reason. Who knows? I don't care. It's successful. That's all I care about. So boom, and I click on write. And I still get the firmware error. Well, you know what? I've had this MD-390 for a month, and I wrote a code plug into it, and it worked. Okay, that's why it has that in there now. So everything was working, and then I get on video, and it stops working. So I think what's going to happen, here's what I think that's going to happen. I'll contact TYT. I'll tell them the error I'm getting. They'll probably send me the new firmware, which I'll update, and I'll ask them for an English version of the file of instructions on how to update it. Once that's done, it'll probably work. So if you've ever done the update on a 2017, it works the same way. You go to Program, write contacts, do an import, you import your file, it says successful, you click on write, and it takes 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 minutes to write it to the radio because there's 90,000+ contacts right now, and it comes up, and then when people transmit, you can see their call sign and name across the screen. That's it, okay? It's not working, obviously. Sorry, but this is live from the Ham Shack. It's not really live, it's recorded, but you get the drift, right? So the good news is the MD-UV380 and 390, all the accessories will fit. Your external mic, batteries, chargers, earpiece, everything. I think they're finally starting to make an extended battery for the 380. I think. I asked him about that back when the 380 was so hot. And they're like, no, we don't have one. No, we don't have one. They make spare batteries, of course, that are the same size. The one that comes with it now is a, can't see it, 2,000 milliamp hour battery. Okay, and the one that comes with the 390 is a 2,200 milliamp hour battery. So it's got a little bit bigger battery with it. Incidentally, and you guys probably already know this, the belt clip on the 380 attaches to the battery. So if you get a second or an extended battery, you have to either take your belt clip off of the first battery or buy additional belt clips. On the 390, the battery is attached to the radio body. So that's another reason I like the 390 better. I don't carry a I've never carried a 380. When the 380 came out, I toyed with it, I tinkered with it, and it was okay. At the time, I was really carrying my Motorola 7550, and I was like, and this was before MD380 Tools was even out, and I don't know, it's not a bad radio. It's just I just never really got in. But I never got into the 380. But when the 390 came out, I did like it. I liked how it was a little bit bulkier, a little bit heavier. It had the bigger belt clip, which was attached to the body itself, and it was just I just liked it better. It was just my personal preference. That's all it was. There's nothing wrong with the 380. I just prefer the 390. That's my thing. So that was a long-winded episode, but I know a lot of you guys have been looking forward to this information. So you can see that there's some discrepancies in the firmware versions right now. Even on TYT's website, they don't have their updates done very well yet. I'm going to contact Retevis and ask them what their current status on this unit is, because they have everything the same as TYT does. Maybe they have some updates that TYT doesn't have out yet. But anyway, I've used the MD-UV380 several times, talking into my open spot or talking into my repeater or several other repeaters in my area. Sounds just the same as any other DMR radio. Got good audio reports. I've used my RT82, my 2017, my 390. People can't tell the difference. Same chip and all those. So anyway. So that is the TYT, the newest TYT Dual Band HT. Thanks for watching, guys. Sorry it took so long to get through all that, but perhaps it will save you some headache in the long run. So hope to see some of you guys at Dayton this week. Look for my videos. Look for my live Facebook, live Twitter, and live YouTube videos. I'm going to do a combination of those. I'm not sure what yet. We'll see what happens. But I'll do recorded videos and post them in the channel later, of course, like I always do. So hope to see you guys at Dayton next weekend. You guys be safe driving. Have safe flights out there. 73. And we'll catch you next time. This is KC5HWB with the new Dual Band DMR HT from TYT. I will be clear and QSY.
This has been Ham Radio 2.0, a YouTube production by KC5HWB. Visit our website at www.livefromthehamshack.tv. Please also stop by our Facebook page at fb.me/hamradio2. Be sure and subscribe here on YouTube to keep up with all the new videos that are posted nearly every Monday. 73s everyone, and thanks for watching.